Welcome back to My Plus One Life. So I just got back from the facility. It is the 31st. I'll probably post this video tonight actually, but we just finished our 5th day of training camp and tomorrow we put the pads on, which I am so excited about. For me, that is like a big day because I consider myself a physical player. I consider myself as a guy who really relies on these boys right here and locking somebody out. So I cannot wait to put the pads on. So that's tomorrow. Going to be a fun day. Probably going to be super sore tomorrow. Up to this point, like the first few days, I was starting to like have that soreness creep in. But your body adjusts. And now that my body's adjusted to like not having pads on yet, we're going to throw the pads on and I'm probably going to get crushed and my legs, and my legs are going to be absolutely deleted. Whatever, doesn't really matter. The point is, I'm super excited about it. So that's one update. Second update, and as you can see, the title of this video is about why I cannot sleep in the same room with my wife at training camp. And it sounds kind of weird to say because she's literally my wife. We've been married for almost 3 years now. And when training camp hits, after all these nights that I've slept with my wife, not here. I'm by myself. As you can see, nobody else is in here. Which is kind of nice when you think about it because getting good sleep is very, very beneficial and crucial during training camp. But needless to say, this is a rule that like almost every team has. Like very rarely do teams allow their guys to just go home during training camp. But like the reason that we can't like have our wives and people in our rooms during training camp really is not because of like you need to focus on football. Like right now, if I wanted to go have dinner with my wife or hang out with my wife, I could. Granted, she's not here. So it's not like a control thing from that standpoint. The biggest thing is security. One, they want everybody in one place. Like because it's training camp, they want everybody hanging out. And if you have everybody in one place, you kind of have to have some type of security measures and just like a hard standard to like people coming on the floors and stuff. I mean, could you imagine? Listen, y'all might love me and think I'm the coolest person in the world, but could you imagine like Jimmy G, all these guys like Max Crosby sleeping on this floor and like fans could just come up here? I mean, it'd be out of control. So that's kind of why they do that. I think it's super, super beneficial. But for me, when my wife comes out here, it's definitely a little weird. So for instance, she came out here this last weekend and she was here, I think 4 nights. And I only got to stay with her one of the nights. And I think for me as a man who's now married, who's really like kind of like settled in a marriage and settled into the idea that, you know, my wife is like everything, it's definitely challenging for me. Also, something that's interesting is at the beginning of my career, like when training camp would hit, I would be like, I don't delete all distractions, girlfriend, whatever, get it out of my mind, I'm all football. But as you get older, you start to realize like, yes, I'm in training camp. I'm all about ball right now, but you still have to manage relationships with family, etc. So like, I'm kind of like, I've learned how to like manage my relationship with my wife and manage my relationship with football. And because of that, it's extra hard now because I just really miss her. I really, really, really miss her. But that's a pretty quick little update on life in training camp. What I will do is show you the food because I'm so excited about eating this food. So I'm going to show you the training camp food that I'm absolutely fired up about. Look at this. So, I don't know if you can see that. You've got ribs, macaroni, pulled pork, and there's beans deep down in there. And then on this one, potato salad and chicken wings. I mean, my God, I am about to absolutely delete that. And, you know, one fun fact is just like the Raiders, their food is so good. I remember when I came to the Raiders last year, like I was coming from the Browns, and I won't even comment on the Browns food because that's not what the video is about. But the Raiders food I got here, and like every NFL team the night before a game, like you have a pretty good meal, but their night before a game meal, they bring in like some of the best chefs off the strip to cook food for us the night before a game. And it is like, it's hard to even describe how good it is. I'm talking like they have a whole like seafood iced cold setup, like with like a whole raw bar is what you'd call it. Like they have plates, dishes that are dished, like actually made, like you're on Iron Chef America. It's a whole setup. But either way, there's a little life update. There's camp update. Comment questions you guys have. These videos are extremely easy for me to make. And yeah, let's just keep interacting. My+1 life. I'm not gonna dab. My wife hates when I do that. So, all right, appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe.